In the early days of the American colonies, long before the United States became a nation, a man named Crispus Attucks stepped into history in a moment that would change everything. Attucks was born around 1723. Historians believe he was of African and Native American descent, likely the son of an enslaved African man and a Native American woman. Life in colonial America was harsh for people like him. Freedom was rare and opportunities were limited. At some point in his life, Attucks escaped from slavery and worked as a sailor and dock worker, moving through the busy port city of Boston. By the late 1760s, tensions between the American colonists and the British government were reaching a boiling point. Britain had imposed new taxes and stationed soldiers in Boston to maintain control. Many colonists felt oppressed and angry. Leaders like Samuel Adams organized protests against British rule. On the cold evening of March 5, 1770, a crowd gathered near the customs house in Boston. Colonists shouted at British soldiers, throwing snowballs, ice, and debris. Among the crowd was Crispus Attucks. Witnesses later said Attucks stood near the front, urging the crowd forward. The confrontation escalated quickly. British soldiers, frightened and surrounded, suddenly opened fire into the crowd. When the smoke cleared, 5 colonists lay dead or dying. Crispus Attucks was the first to fall. A musket ball struck him in the chest, killing him instantly. Because he was the first to die in the clash, many historians remember him as the first martyr of the American Revolution. News of the incident spread rapidly. Colonial leaders used the tragedy as powerful evidence of British cruelty. The event became known as the Boston Massacre, and it helped ignite the revolutionary spirit that would eventually lead to war with Britain. Attucks was buried with honor alongside the other victims. For many years, however, his story was overshadowed by larger figures of the Revolution. Over time, historians began to recognize the significance of his sacrifice. Today, Crispus Attucks is remembered as a symbol of courage and resistance. As a man of African and Native American heritage, he also represents the often overlooked role of people of color in the fight for American independence. Statues, schools, and memorials across the United States now bear his name. More than 2 centuries later, the legacy of Crispus Attucks still stands as a powerful reminder that sometimes history changes because one ordinary person refuses to step back in a moment of injustice.